Thank you so much for joining me for this edition of the newscast. Happening today, a major shakeup in Brazilian politics could have huge implications for the future of all of Latin America. That's next. Well, folks, it's happening. A political earthquake has just struck Brazil, and it could indeed change the geopolitical landscape of all of Latin America. Let me explain. As many of you know, we've been following closely the battle between the left and the right in Brazil. On one side is former President Lula da Silva, a leftist who is currently leading in the polls. On the other side is the incumbent president, Jair Bolsonaro, who is trying to hold on to power and fend off a leftist takeover of Brazil. Well, folks, something just happened that could swing this election decisively. In a stunning move, former President Lula da Silva has just named his running mate for the October election. And it is none other than former São Paulo Governor João Doria, a man who was once considered to be a potential presidential candidate in his own right, but now he will be Lula's VP. Now, why is this such a big deal? Because this could bring together two wings of the Brazilian right, uniting them against the leftist threat of Lula. And this could also bring millions of evangelical voters into the camp of the incumbent president, Jair Bolsonaro. Many evangelicals have been looking for a candidate to support. Now, they may rally around Jair Bolsonaro as the only hope to stop the left from taking over Brazil. Now, there are some interesting dynamics at play here. You have the Workers' Party, the PT, which is the leftist party of Lula da Silva. Then you have the MDB, the Brazilian Social Liberal Party, which is more centrist. More of a catch-all party that has now endorsed Doria as Lula's VP. And then you have the Place, the Liberal Party, which is the party of Jair Bolsonaro. Well, there's been some back and forth here. There's been some flirting. The Workers' Party actually first offered the VP slot to the Liberal Party, but they couldn't come to an agreement. So now the Workers' Party has gone with the MDB, and the MDB is saying, okay, we'll endorse your guy for president. But we want this former São Paulo governor, João Doria, to be his VP. So it looks like the Bolsonaros got an offer they can't refuse. And if they accept this offer, if Bolsonaro agrees to having Doria as VP, it would open up the possibility of uniting the right, stopping the left, keeping Lula out of the presidential palace. Again, we have to see what Bolsonaro's response is going to be. He has not yet said whether he will accept this offer. But if he does, it could turn the tables in this election and help him to fend off a leftist takeover of Brazil. We'll keep a very close eye on this developing story. Thanks so much for joining me for this edition of the newscast. Till next time, God bless you, and remember, never hold your peace. Hey everyone, thanks for checking out the newscast. If you enjoyed this episode and want to see more, make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, click subscribe, and tap the bell icon to turn on notifications for new episodes every weekday.